Hey there, good morning. Happy Monday morning to you today. It is Monday, October 4th, and I am just elated to be here today to continue our Monday series that focus completely on career confidence. Last week, as I taught a class on interpersonal communication skills, a young lady in the class, and the class is really made up of young adults, 18 to 30 years of age, and a young lady in the class shared with me that she worked at a job where her supervisor was mean to her for no reason. It was a personal dislike. It had nothing to do with her work ethic. It had nothing to do with her productivity. It just seemed as if her supervisor had a dislike for her. And as a result of that, and as her method of dealing with her supervisor's dislike, she started to dull her light. She started to dumb down, drop back, to not be seen because she wanted to avoid dealing with her supervisor. And so, as we talked about it, I encouraged her to never allow somebody else to dull her light. When I've worked with enough businesses and I've worked in the corporate field long enough to know that when you are brilliant, you are valued. When you bring solutions, you are appreciated. When you are the type of employee that adds value to the organization, you are what the organization is looking for. I want to share with you four quick tips today on how to deal with a supervisor or a manager that has a personal dislike for you. The first thing I want to share with you is to let your light shine. The reality is, your light is not for you. Your light is to illuminate the atmosphere or the environment in which you are working or the social event that you may be attending. But because we're talking about building our career confidence, I'll focus solely on the corporate world. And so, whenever you are at work, allow your light to shine. Your light is not meant to be snuffed out. It's not meant to be put under a bushel. It's not meant to be hidden. The reason you have that gift, that talent, the reason that you have the ability to impact an atmosphere, the reason you have that gift is so that you use it in the atmosphere to inspire and encourage others. I vividly remember maybe about 2 years ago doing a presentation for Deltec Bank and Trust. And I remember one of the activities was everybody standing up and holding a tea light. And they were singing the song, This Little Light of Mine. And there were volunteers standing up singing the song. And so that meant that there were other people still seated. And as the group of volunteers were singing This Little Light of Mine, and they started to get passionate, clapping and engaging, those that were seated, those who did not volunteer, started to rock and sing with the music. Some of them even stood up and joined in the song. Why am I sharing that with you? I'm sharing that with you is that so that you are aware that your light is a spark that can ignite another person in that environment and encourage them to show up at their best. The second thing I want to share with you today is to work hard, to never let your work ethic or your productivity come into question. Always give your best effort. Produce more than is expected. Give more than is expected. Make sure that as an employee, you are giving value to that organization. Personalities don't matter. Yes, they impact us. What matters to that organization is their bottom line. How are you impacting that bottom line? How are you working? How are you owning your responsibility? So always look at your job description and figure out how to execute your task with excellence and in a way that's at the highest productivity. And then it doesn't matter whose personality doesn't like your personality. What matters is that you are a productive, valued member of that organization. The third thing I want to encourage you to do is to consider if this role that you're currently in or if that organization that you're working on is really a good fit for you. I just know that in this day and time, we are essentially, having to work in roles where we're doing a in the meantime situation. It's not our final destination. It's perhaps a job that we have come into that we need for the moment, or it could be our final destination. It could be that this is the ultimate role that we've been looking forward to. But you have to make that decision. Is this position with this manager my end? Oftentimes, we don't look at the big picture. Oftentimes, we don't have a career path outlined. When we work at that organization and we work in a particular area, we're not owning our power to create our own career path and then go about seeking the opportunities that would get us from the position that we're in to the position that we really want to go. That takes intentional thought. It actually takes talking to other people in the organization, building relationships, mentorship, networking, cross training. And so you have to decide, is this position going to be my final, or is this a stepping stone to something else? Is this organization where I'm going to stay, or will I be looking to move into another organization? We sometimes think that the grass is greener on the other side in another organization. But I want to just ask you to take your time and do some research and answer that question, because if that job is not your end job, if this is something that you're doing to mark time, if this is something that you're doing as you're plotting your career to get to the next level, allow those personality conflicts to slide off of your back. The reality is, there are going to be people in the world that don't like us, and they don't need a reason to. They just don't like us. I don't know if you've ever heard someone say, my spirit doesn't take to that person. Well, they don't need a reason to dislike us. So we can't focus so much on the fact that they don't like us. We have to focus on always representing ourselves at the highest level possible and being productive. The fourth and final thing I'd like to recommend for you to do, once you've made a decision about whether this job is your end job or your stepping stone job to another position in that organization or to another organization, I am going to encourage you to grow so that you can continue to glow to your next level. The more we grow, the more opportunities are available for us. When we're stagnant, we are like stink water. We're just like stuck. So the more you grow, the more you learn, the more you jump into personal development, the more you enrich yourself, the more value you're going to be bringing to that organization. And so I want to encourage you to grow so that you can continue to glow up. When you love what you do, your light just shines. When you love what you do, you can walk into your work environment and begin your work. The passion can just come up in your chest, and you just bloom regardless of the culture that you're sitting in. The culture can dampen that for a moment, but that is temporary. So make sure that you are growing so that you can glow to the next level. As I close today's live, I want to encourage you to really consider your career path. Consider 10 years from now the role you'd like to be working in, what type of organization you would like to be working in, and figure out what it's going to take to get you from where you are to where you want to go. We own the power over our lives. We own the power of the trajectory of our lives. We own the power of the direction our lives can take. So I want to challenge you to grab a hold of that power and to map out your process. Don't leave it here, because here we're going to change it, change it, change it. But when we write it out and see it on paper, it can become clearer, and then we can begin to take action. Happy Monday, guys. Have a great week ahead. And I truly hope that some of these tips were able to help you learn how to deal with a boss that doesn't like you because you shine. Take care.